Hey everybody, it's ModelcarNick here today, and I have a nice little Norev Audi S5, and this is finished in this kind of gloss red. It's not really a metallic color. Silver wheels, black interior. I paid about $87 for this model, and honestly, it was an impulse buy. I always wanted an Audi, you know, kind of a cool A5 or S5 car. But this was definitely an impulse buy. It's not really the best spec out there. It's not as cool as the RS5, which definitely looks a lot better. And I do have an RS5 kind of a four-door right here. So, you know, definitely not as cool as that one, I think. Anyways, let's get into it. I think right now also these are probably going for, I just saw one selling auction on eBay for about $75. So, I kind of paid a little bit more than I guess what auction prices would go for. This one did come with the box though. I'm not sure if the other one did. But yeah, I really wouldn't try to pay more than at least $100 for this model, especially if it is in this spec. This is kind of like, unless you really like red cars, I don't really think this is the best spec out there. It's kind of just, meh. But anyways, let's get into it, and enough with my opinions. So let's take a look up front with these headlights. So I think they actually did a really good job with these headlights. As you can see, there's just a bunch of little details in there, and I think they did a really good job just sculpting everything within those headlights. Not too bad there. The front grille itself, obviously, not really too much you can see behind there, but, it's not just like a fake mesh grill. This is actually vented, unlike this GT Spirit one, which is just completely, one block of plastic. So that is nice to see. The Audi rings, they look pretty good. There is kind of just this big gray thing holding everything up behind like the chrome and everything, and I don't know, it just doesn't really make it look as classy, I think, as it should be. I think it should be in like black or something. I'm not sure what the real car looks like, but yeah, it's just gray plastic behind all the chrome. There's a number plate right here. Not always a big fan of those, but I guess on this one it looks just fine. Down here we kind of have the fog lamps down there. These kind of grills right here obviously are all, sealed fake mesh grills. There is a little strip of chrome running through the bottom, and there's kind of just another view of the front. And then I forgot to mention there is a little S5 logo right there in the grille, so it looks pretty good. This is a fully opening model, so we will go ahead and open up the front engine bay, and let's see what we have in there, if I can get it open. I remember this being a huge pain the first time I tried doing it, so doing it single-handedly, might not be the best. Oh, there we go. So look at that engine bay. So this is the V8 engine that the Audi S cars kind of put in there at the time. Actually, it looks like this is the V6, which is interesting because I thought these cars had V8s. Anyways, besides my lack of knowledge, this actually is a really good engine bay. As you can see, all like the coolant hoses and everything, the reservoirs over here. Just really nice attention to detail. This is actually one of the best Norev engine bays I've seen in a while. Up here we kind of have this cowl, nothing really too much going on up there. But yeah, honestly, just a really nice looking engine bay. And, I wouldn't blame anyone for displaying this model with the engine bay up because, yeah, it's actually a really good job by Norev. So I'll go ahead and close that back down. The hood of this car itself, nothing really to note. It's not really, anything too special. As you can see, the body lines are right here, and I think they emulated that pretty well in this model. But it is kind of hard. I think with red model cars, the lines kind of get lost, kind of just like a black car, which is weird, but the red kind of just soaks up all the lines, I think, for these kind of cars. But moving on down, I guess I'll start with the wheels. So we have this 5-spoke wheel design, and I think the finish on these looks really good. It's just a nice like silver paint job on these wheels. As you can see, the Audi rings are sitting in the center cap. Black brake calipers behind those. They're nothing really too special. They're just gloss black, and then there's just regular brake discs, no like drilled slotted brake discs like you see on some other cars. which is interesting because this is kind of like the mid-tier Audi car. You know, I would think this would have a little bit more of an edgier design, but this was the first generation S5 to be released, so it was a bit tame compared to, you know, how some of the S cars look down the line. But these wing, sorry, I can't talk. But these mirror caps are finished in kind of this matte silver paint, kind of to match the wheels, which is kind of an interesting choice. But it looks pretty good. Chrome surrounding the windows also looks pretty decent. The hood itself doesn't really have anything too special to note, but there is a little shark fin, kind of like how on the BMWs at the time had. The Audis also incorporated that as well. But moving on to the rear, I think the rear sections of these cars look the best, and I don't know why, but for some reason this just looks like a small car to me. I know it's not, but I will pull out its competition for the time, the BMW 3 Series. So here's kind of what it looks like in size comparison with this Audi, and they are about similar sizes. I don't know, it looks small to me. Maybe a little bit underscaled slightly, I must say. Also, but I do like the rear kind of design of these Audi S cars, or just the A5s in general. I don't know, this car just looks really good to me. But yeah, moving on towards the rear, there's no like side splitters or anything like that, but this kind of body design kind of comes out a little bit, and it looks really good. Door handles and panel gaps, no real issues to complain about there, so I think they did a pretty good job with that. But moving on to the back of the model, I think the coolest part about these S cars is that you get the quad exhaust tailpipes in chrome. So I think those look absolutely incredible. Obviously, the S5 badge sitting there on the left, Audi rings as well, don't look too shabby. And then the taillights, I think, actually look really good. There is a little bit of a chrome strip sitting in the middle, which I think is supposed to emulate the reverse light, so that's kind of interesting. But they do have like these little dots, like kind of in the real car, so all this would be like the daytime, or just like if you're not stepping on the brake pedal, then these lights would be on at nighttime just around, and I think they did a pretty good job emulating that. So props to them. The trunk does open, so let's go ahead and pop it up. It doesn't really stand open too well, I've noticed, so you can see it has a little bit of a hard time doing that. But the trunk itself, nothing really too crazy going on in here. They did add this little kind of ripple thing. It is just in matte black plastic, so kind of, you know, not the best. The carpet, you know, is all over the trunk, as you can see, so it looks pretty good. And then there's a little latch down there at the bottom. So honestly, not a bad engine bay or trunk bay. Just not really too much you can do with that. But I will go ahead and close it. And now let's go ahead and take a look at this interior. So let's see if I can open this as well. And I'll just try to pull the door handle. And that worked pretty well. So I do think these doors open up pretty nicely. As you can see, just a nice wide entrance. The door cards itself are pretty undescript, as you can see. Not really too much going on with that, but I think everything else in here, you know, looks kind of plasticky. It looks like they put Armor All on everything, to be honest, but it's just the shine of the plastic. But honestly, not a bad interior. As you can see, they kind of have like the titanium surrounding the dashboard, and then onto the infotainment screen. The steering wheel itself does look pretty decent. Shift knobs and everything like that. There's some buttons down there, but it's kind of hard to make out, you know, anything in the interior. But there is carpets on the floor, as you can see, and it looks like those brake pedals and the gas pedal is finished in kind of a chrome, or it's actually just the reflection. It's actually just a black plastic finish, so apologies for that. The seats do look really nice. I think they sculpted them very well. And then down here, you even have like the seat adjusting details. So honestly, a really good job with those seats. It is kind of hard to see the back of the inside, as you can see, but that's kind of everything. And just, you literally can't see through it. There's just not really too much space back there, but honestly, a really good interior. I can go ahead and open up the other side real quick, just so we can take a peek. And this car actually does, oh man, this door still has the sticker on it, so I guess I won't be opening that. That's kind of interesting, I never noticed that. But yeah, this car is actually on like a suspension, so you can kind of move it up and down. As you can see, the rear is actually very movable, but the front not so much. But that is kind of a cool detail that you don't really see on some other cars. So I guess it is on this 3 Series as well, but it's definitely not on the GT Spirit models. I think they did a pretty good job with this one. So overall, though, I think this is a really lovely model. Like I said, I just don't love the spec, and I think this is a bit tamed compared to the RS cars as a model, obviously. You know, would I recommend it? If you could get this car for, I guess, sub $100, I think, you know, this wouldn't be a bad add to the collection, especially if you can get it in a different colorway. The RS cars, though, if you can get one, they are insanely expensive. I think they are into the $200 realm if you really want to get like a, not even an opening one. I think just the RS cars that are GT Spirit of this generation Audi RS5 are very expensive. So I settled with this one. I'm mildly happy with it. Just, you know, it's not the coolest model ever. It's kind of just a really base looking spec. But, you know, for what it is and what I paid for it, not too mad at it. So yeah, I'd probably give this model, you know, just looking at it and just all the features it has, it really is a good model. It's got some really good weight to it. Actually a pretty heavy model. And let me go ahead and just show you the undercarriage of the car real quick. So give me a second. Hopefully we don't break anything. Boom. So this is the underneath of the car, and honestly a pretty good level of detail. These exhaust boxes are finished kind of in this kind of gold finish, which looks really nice. As you can see, the transmission is down there. There's a Norev logo and 118 badge. But yeah, honestly, just a really good looking underside, and there's kind of the rear differential back there. But yeah, looks pretty good, I must say. So that's kind of the full review. I know I'm ending it weirdly, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, we have a ton of model cars in the collection that I have not reviewed, so stay tuned. Yeah, I have recorded a full model car collection video as well, so if you're interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments below because I'm waiting to post it. So thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take it easy. Bye.